hello to you all. It's 7:30 in the morning and I am dressed and out of the house. Who am I? And what have you done with Brittany? This is very unlike me to be up at this ungodly hour on my way to somewhere. I'm getting a train this morning to London, going in to do some work-related bits. And the train takes 2 hours, so I do have to get up quite early if I want to get to London for a reasonable time. And obviously, due to COVID, the trains just aren't running that regularly at the moment. So yeah, a story that you did not ask for there. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so today I'm having a facial, so I'm actually sans makeup right now, hence I'm hiding behind sunglasses, just trying to cross the road while vlogging. Do not recommend. Sans makeup, going for a facial first thing, and then I've got a couple of other work bits afterwards, including a very nice preview of a beautiful brand's autumn winter 21 collection, which I will obviously vlog. Unfortunately, I'm vlogging from my iPhone today because I did really well this morning, packed my bag, didn't forget a single thing apart from the memory card in my vlogging camera. So I'm coming to you from iPhone at the moment, and I hope the quality isn't too bad. I will do my best with the tools that I have. But if I sound out of breath, it's because I'm running late. Okay, I've just finished my facial. There's no natural light in here, it's just like there's just literally one lamp. So I'm sorry about the lighting and the quality. You can't really see much, but I am feeling incredibly relaxed. From what I can see, looking quite glowy as well. I don't really want to get up, but I need to get up and carry on with my day. I will try and show you my face in actual daylight when the lighting is much better. Maybe if I sit up and... no, I'll show you out in the daylight. Hello, I'm back home, and safe to say that vlogging did not go to plan today. So after my facial, I realised that I was almost on 20% battery on my phone. Turns out I didn't charge my phone properly last night, so I had to suspend all vlogging to preserve my battery. So I do apologise for that. I had the best intentions to take you along today, but yeah, just couldn't do it, unfortunately. So when I last spoke to you, I think I just finished my facial. So we can now examine my skin. This is sans makeup. So I went to a place called SkinWorks. It's pretty much the only place I go for facials because I find their facials work for me. They are very, very luxurious, very expensive. I only have about 2 to 3 a year. Sometimes I have complimentary appointments, sometimes I pay for my appointments. But for me, for my skin type, I have only ever had a good experience at SkinWorks, but it's hard to recommend a facial to someone without knowing their skin type, because not all facials are applicable to everyone's face. But yeah, I had this, I think it's called the City Cleanse facial, and so yeah, this is my skin. Sans makeup. I think it involved extraction, which is my favourite thing to have during a facial. Then there was some galvanic masking with loads of vitamin C, microdermabrasion, and then she just popped on some nicer serums and other bits and bobs to finish off. I am always so pleased and just feel so confident in my skin after a SkinWorks facial. Sorry, my camera just completely cut out on me then for no apparent reason, and I've completely lost my train of chat. So I don't have a clue what I was saying. It wasn't even that long ago. Oh yeah, I always feel very confident in my skin after a SkinWorks facial, and what I like about the facials there are that I have found the results last quite a while. It's not a facial that just lasts for a couple of days, it's something that lasts for a few weeks afterwards. So yes, I'm very pleased with the way things are looking now. Good old bit of extraction just to get rid of any congestion from wearing a mask quite a lot. So after my facial, I then went to a little preview of Margaret Howell's Autumn Winter 21 collection. As a massive, massive fan of the brand, I felt so humbled and very excited when they were like, do you want to pop along and come see some of the Autumn Winter 21 stuff? Which sounds mad considering we haven't even stepped foot into spring, let alone summer yet, and we're already being shown Autumn Winter 21. But to be honest, given how rubbish the weather is at the moment, a lot of the stuff that they showed could be worn now, so it's kind of always nice to, I guess, see new colour palettes or styling tricks that you can actually kind of implement into your wardrobe now while it's still a bit chilly. Again, documenting was terrible. I was so busy chatting away, I barely even took any photos, so I'll insert some photos here of some bits that I really liked. But yeah, aside from that, quite the failure in terms of vlogging today, because I'm now home. The time is 20 to 2. And in 20 minutes, oh, message from Dad, probably telling me to wake up. In 20 minutes, my dad is arriving. We are taking my sister to Heathrow. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. Right, this is how ridiculous I am when it comes to creases. It's nearly 2 a.m. I'm literally about to sit in a car for 3 hours driving to Heathrow in literally jumper and joggers. They're creased and I kind of want to steam them. Don't ask me why, it's just a weird thing that I have, regardless of where I'm going. Doesn't matter who's seeing me or what the circumstances are. I get weird about creases on my clothes, and it's not even like a presentation thing. Like, it's a thing that just bugs me, and it's almost like I can feel the creases when I put clothes on. I'm like, do I have time to steam my joggers? Am I being absolutely ridiculous? This is so stupid. But I just get really, really quite funny about creases in clothes.
不要走，今天晚上留下来陪我。所有节日。
Don't forget to message us. Hello, just got to the gym, got back home at 8:30 this morning and slept until probably about 1 o'clock. So I feel really weird. I feel like my day has only just begun, but it's 3:30 already. I almost feel like I'm jet lagged, but without the like really quite hideous feeling. It's just, I feel like my body clock is all off. But yeah, I'm just gonna do some exercising, try and make me feel a little bit more human, because I have sat in a car for nearly 6 hours straight. So I feel like I haven't really moved my body properly. So yeah, a nice way to end the week.
Yeah, and we can only build to what we're told we have to build to.
Yeah.
Check out the trousers that I just got back from the tailor. My trench coat isn't quite ready yet, which is fine. I'm not in a rush to get it back. It's quite a big job. He's having to take up the coat and then shorten the sleeves, but in shortening the sleeves he also has to move the tab detail and all the buttons, so it's quite a lengthy job. But my trousers were ready. I am so pleased with these. I love it when I get stuff back from the tailor because it's like, it fits finally. I've had these trousers for well over a month and I've just been like, I need to go to the tailor, and I don't know why I didn't do it sooner. I would go as far as to say these trousers for me now might be the perfect navy straight leg slouchy loose trouser. The only thing that is stopping them from being 100% perfect is there's no belt loops, but it is something I can overlook for now, and I guess I could have some belt loops put on if I really wanted to. They're from Jigsaw. I'll leave a link below. I had them taken in at the waist, only a tiny bit because I still wanted them to sit quite loose. I didn't want them to be like proper high on the waist and really tight. I wanted the option of being able to hike them up if I want to, but also wear them slightly further down, and then obviously had them taken up at the bottom. They almost touch the floor. I just had them so they just kind of skim the very bottom of my shoe because I obviously don't want to actually damage the bottom of my trousers. I love them so much. I've been looking for this sort of type of trouser for quite a while. I've got my Sandro ones, which are wide leg and cropped, and then I've got my Ami ones, which are more of a true cigarette trouser, but I don't have anything like this in navy. And I've wanted those Philippa K ones for ages, the ones that everyone seems to have. I can't remember what they're called, maybe like the Julie trouser, either the Julie or the Hutton, I can't remember. But they are always out of stock. They've been out of stock for months. I signed up to get stock notifications and alas have not had a notification for months, so I just thought actually I'm going to hunt elsewhere, and these Jigsaw ones seem to fit the bill quite well. Just got back from an afternoon roast dinner and I'm feeling so full and so drowsy. I feel like I could have an afternoon nap after that. I've also had a haircut. Not really noticeable, but I have actually had quite a few, like a good 2 inches just chopped off the bottom. Literally just said cut in a straight line please. I don't want any layers, I don't want anything fancy, I just wanted a blunt cut so that the ends of my hair looked a bit healthier, and I think we can all agree it's looking much better. Short vlog this week, so I'm actually going to just end it with, sorry itchy nose, some book chat. So as always, if you're not interested in books, switch off now because this will be how the vlog ends. Since I last spoke to you, I've got 3 books to talk about, which I'll try to get through quite swiftly and try not to ramble too much. I can't remember what I was reading when I last spoke to you all, but these are the 3 that I have read. I think it's these 3. Pretty sure it's just these 3 that I've read since I last spoke about books. Wow, really overexposed. Okay, starting with Lisa C's Snowflower and the Secret Fan. So this is the story of 2 girls that live in the Hunan province in China. Their names are Sunflower and, why can I not remember the other girl's name? Lily and Snowflower are the 2 girls' names. And it's the story of how they become leotongs. So a leotong is a special type of relationship between 2 girls within Chinese culture. I think it's specific to this area in China that the story is set. And it's basically a relationship in which you become bound together for life as almost like pen pals, sworn sisters basically. And the story follows them from a very young age, from when they get matched together right up until the very ends of their lives. It is quite a heavy story. There are some really quite graphic scenes involving foot binding. Now, foot binding was something I was aware of before reading the story, but I just wasn't quite 100% aware of what fully goes into foot binding, just what women have to endure, and the age, how young girls are when they start to have their feet bound. So I guess a bit of a trigger warning if you find stuff like that difficult to read about, because foot binding is referred to and spoken about quite a lot throughout the book and in quite heavy detail. It is quite a sad story. It's very sad in the way just how women were treated. I think this is set in the early 1800s. I think it starts at the start of 1823 to 1864. And yeah, it's just really quite heartbreaking how worthless women were within this culture and at this time, and how their worth was measured on how small their feet could be bound and whether they could give birth to boys or not. So it's really quite sad in that sense. However, it's the relationship between Lily and Snowflower that is really quite heartwarming throughout. It's a lot of it follows the story of how they communicate using a secret fan, hence the title. They send the fan back and forth to each other and write notes on the folds of the fan using a language called Nushu, which was a language that was developed by women for women so that men could not read. It was a language that basically only women could read. So it's super, super interesting. I absolutely love this story. I was really quite gripped. It's, I guess, a similar sort of, I've said before, I quite like family sagas and things that start from a young age and follow someone's lifespan, and this does exactly that. So I highly, highly recommend if that sounds like the kind of story that you're into. Then after that, I read Yoko Ogawa's The Memory Police. Now this book is ever so strange. It's the only way I can describe it really. I saw someone describe it as 1984 meets Murakami, and I have to say I do agree with that. It has the same dystopian themes that 1984 has, but it's almost written in a much more, I guess, melancholy and sort of dreamy like sense that Murakami writes in. It's weird, but it's interesting. So it's the story, it's hard to explain because you never find out where it's set. You don't really find out anyone's name. It's all very anonymous. So there's some people. It's set on an island, and basically the Memory Police are this group or this organisation. It's not really explained fully, that slowly take away things from the island and extract things from people's memories, and no one knows what it will be. No one knows when it will be. But once it's gone, and the recollection of that, whatever has gone, starts to disappear as well, and people forget. And it just gets quite unusual as more and more things disappear. And right at the end, it's just like, wait, what? How has this happened? So it's interesting, but I must admit I have a lot of unanswered questions, mainly surrounding the Memory Police. I was kind of hoping it would be more about the Memory Police and who they are and what they do, kind of like how in 1984 you find out what Big Brother does behind the scenes to people. You don't really get that with this book. It's more about the disappearance of things and how it affects the characters within the story. I really enjoyed it though. I really liked the way it's written. It is quite slow, it's quite calm, which is, you know, that's my preferred sort of, that's the kind of thing I get drawn to. A dreamlike story of dystopia is what it says in the front here. beautiful and haunting, and I would agree with all of those statements. So yeah, an interesting one. I think if you like 1984 and you like Murakami, you'll definitely like this. Oh, I nearly dropped it. And then, after The Memory Police, I decided to take on this absolute whopper of a book. So this book comes in at 950 pages, I believe. So very, very long. The longest book I've ever read. Before this, the longest book I'd ever read was Donna Tartt's A Secret History, which I think is around 450 pages maybe. I have had this on my shelf for a long time, and I've wanted to read it for such a long time, but I think I've always felt quite overwhelmed by books this big, because it's quite a commitment, and I've always wondered, I've always felt with books like this long, it's ever so presumptuous of an author to think that they can grip you for that long, or that they have a story worth telling that it's that long. I guess in the same sense that I'm quite presumptuous that people like to watch a 40-minute vlog. And it's also a trilogy, and the two other books after this are equally as thick. But let's move on to the story. Let's not dwell on how big the book is. So this is an epic post-apocalyptic story. It is a very true post-apocalyptic story in which a virus gets out and the world and civilization as we know it ends. And it's all about how... I don't want to use the word vampires, because the word vampire isn't really used in the book either, but basically this virus turns people into a sort of vampire-like creature. And it's all about how civilization has basically carried on. And it follows a group of, I guess, survivors, or like a colony. Colony is probably the better word, that have managed to survive 100 years on since the virus first got out. It's epic. It's brilliant. Well, I personally thought it was brilliant. It had everything that you wanted from a post-apocalyptic book. The world ends, there's vampires, people get killed, like people have to survive. It's all very much what you would expect from post-apocalyptic fiction. I'm not sure whether I'm ready to jump straight into the second and the third book. It has left it, the book ended in a way that I was like, I do want more. I want to know what happens next, because it is left, not a cliffhanger, but there clearly is more to be explored, which is madness considering it's so long, but it doesn't wrap much up at all. Extremely rewarding, I have to say, to get through a book of this length, and also to have a book hold my attention for this amount of length. The only thing I will say is about a third into the book, there is a massive time jump. Time literally jumps forward about 100 years. So you go from one story to another story, and I felt that quite difficult because I was so invested in the first half of the book, and then all of a sudden it just launched into something different. And then there is an introduction of loads of new characters all at once, and it's very hard to keep on top of things. At one point I did have to go on to Reddit and find almost like a glossary, because there's lots of new terminology as well that you have to remember. So I had to find a glossary just so I could fully understand everything. But I loved how invested I felt in the story, and really, I think what I liked actually about reading a book of this length was you're in it for the long haul, especially a book of this subject matter. You're also in it for the ride. So anytime I sat and read this, I was so present with it, and I was so fully absorbed in it, because I thought, well, I've got a long way with this, so I'm going to give it all of my time and all of my energy, rather than a book that's, say, like 200 to 300 pages that you can sort of whiz through quite quickly, or maybe not fully invest yourself in. This, I kind of really gave it my all, and I found it really rewarding in that sense. So they are the 3 books that I have completed since last talking about books. I feel all 3 are very different, and at the moment I'm not actually reading anything at the moment. I haven't started anything new. I've added some new ones to my Goodreads that I've put them as read, but I haven't actually started to. No, I've put them as reading, sorry, but I haven't actually started them yet. Anyway, that was absolute ramble. I hope everyone's doing well, and tomorrow's my birthday, so I think that next week's vlog there'll be lots of like birthday related things. And next week's vlog is going to be an interesting one. I'm not going to give anything too much away, but yeah, next week one will be a good one. So yeah, I hope you all had a lovely week, and I shall see you all in next week's vlog.